What's going on, guys? Just wanted to do a quick video on my garage and a couple of the cars that I have. So just to give you guys a heads up of what's going to be on the channel and what we're going to be working on, and some of the things that need to be done to these cars to actually get them going. So I'm going to flip you guys around here, and we'll get it started with the first one. All right, so this is my 1968 Camaro. This car has a 5.3 from a 2003 Chevy Silverado. Stock cylinder heads, they are 799s. Let's try and get you guys in there to see it. Really can't. But yeah, 799 cylinder heads, stock bottom ends, but it does have ARP rod bolts in it. Holley high ram intake from what you could see. Obviously, this has a turbo on it. That is an 8896 from VS Racing. This is a 6-inch air-to-air intercooler. Car has a remote electric water pump, which is underneath the hot side right now. See if we can get a better shot of that right down in there. These are like the $180 eBay special up and forward turbo headers. They've been alright so far. I really haven't had any issues with cracking or leaking. And then from there, it's a custom merge over to a T4. What else do we have? Precision 50mm blow-off valve. Precision 66mm wastegate. Aside from that, the engine itself is pretty much stock. It just has a turbo cam from Speed Inc. in it. This car is currently running off of a factory ECU. Let's see, all of the entire harness I redid to be made a standalone. It does have an MSD two-step on it. Transmission is a Turbo 400 with a brake. There is a scatter shield on it. I don't know if you could see behind all the wiring in there. That is the MAC valve for the boost control. It is a Go Fast Bits electronic. Get you inside so you can see the controller itself. Just right up there next to the switch panel. That's actually a custom 3D printed mount for the boost controller, so it just wraps around the back of the roll cage with 2 zip ties. You can do a hose clamp. That's all going to get redone. As far as the interior goes, and this is part of the reason that this car is apart right now. When I bought this car, the cage was already done, but it was made around somebody that was probably about 2 feet shorter than I was. So it's not a very comfortable car to sit in, and more importantly, it's really not safe. Like if you go to take this thing down the track, and God forbid you put it on the roof or hit the wall, it's going to be a bad time. So it's all going to get cut out. Let's see what else. Around back, obviously missing a trunk pan. I cut all of this out. Whoever originally mounted the fuel cell just like hacked a hole in the trunk pan. Looked like with a butter knife, and the cell was mounted with those. Let's see, get them over here. Just these straps right around the top of the cell, and then 2 3/8 bolts right through the trunk pan. If you have 15 gallons of fuel sloshing around on this on a hard launch, or even just driving around on the street, don't use this. Not safe, not a good idea. Not only for you, but anybody you have in the car or anybody on the road next to you, just not a good idea. So I welded up this little cage for the fuel cell, and then I'm going to make another one for the top, and it will be bolted through. I actually have nut certs in the little tabs down there, and that will secure that. And then this bottom piece is going to go on this bar, and then I'm going to add another bar here. So this back bar is actually the mount for the parachute, which comes right out through the license plate. This car has the leaf springs moved inboard with sliders. Let's see if I can get you down there without actually getting underneath the car. sliders are in there. TRZ anti-roll bar, which I started welding in. Obviously the tabs still have to be added to the rear axle. And then this is my mount for the Taylor battery box. So this is going to be a lot of what is involved. The first couple of videos are going to be hopefully getting this car back together and, more importantly, safe. Obviously I want to drive the car, but I would also, like to live to drive it again, God forbid something happens. So I think that's pretty much it. You guys saw the engine, gave you a description of the trans, saw the interior. This seat, like I said before, with the height issue, is entirely too close to the steering wheel for me. My legs are about here when I drive it, no good. So that's all going to get redone. There's a ton of metal to cut out of this car. Really not looking forward to it, but it's got to get done. So I think that's pretty much it on this one. If you guys do have any questions about it, let me know. And yeah, this is my garage. If you're thinking it looks pretty small on the camera, I'll let you in on a little secret. It is really small. It's about a car and a half, and it has about 3 cars worth of stuff in it. So not a lot of room to work, but we get it done. So I'm probably going to end up moving this car out and pulling the next one in, just so I can film and record without all of the wind noise, even though I'm probably moving this camera around like crazy and you guys are already motion sick. But yeah, get this one rolled out and I'll bring the next one in. Alright, next up is my 99 Corvette. This is a fixed roof coupe, so it doesn't have the big bubble window like the Target tops did. This car is pretty much stock with the exception of a few bolt-ons. It's also a disaster inside, so keep you away from the interior. This has ported 243s, tick polluter V1 cam, basic Valram intake, Texas Speed long tube headers, SLP loudmouth exhaust. It also has a tick adjustable master cylinder and a McLeod RST clutch. Aside from that, the car is pretty much stock. Inside, like I said, is a mess, but MGW shifter. It's got a double din in there. That's pretty much it. Right now, this car needs a transmission. Currently, reverse does not work, but all the forward gears do. Last year, I grenaded the diff in this thing after putting drag radials on it, and I should have done the transmission then because it was starting to act up, and I didn't. So that's going to be a winter project on my back in the driveway again with this thing. So yeah, I think that's about it for this one. And I've been pushing the cars in and out because nothing I own runs and drives. So yeah, hopefully just better sound quality not being outside in the wind. So I'll get this one out and get the next one in. Alright, and last up, this is a 57 210 two-door sedan post car. My buddy and I actually bought this back in June. It was like a small project for the two of us to kind of go in on and try and flip it and make some money. And the car was a lot rougher than we really thought. We bought it at night, which is always a good idea. If you guys are looking for a car, definitely go when it's pitch black out. And this thing has kind of just been a thorn in our sides ever since. Neither one of us really have too much room for an extra project car right now. But we're going to do our best to kind of get this thing back together, sort of in one color, and just get it running and driving, and get rid of it fairly cheap, and hopefully somebody can get themselves an inexpensive hot rod to enjoy. Currently has 350 I would show you, but there's obviously no room. Anybody want a toolbox? I got one. But yeah, 350 cast iron heads, Edelbrock intake. This car was a factory 3-speed. It still has the factory 3-speed, but somebody converted it to a floor shift. And oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Good stuff going on. But yeah, I'm going to try and just make this hole, patch the sections of the floor that are here, so at least you don't fall out while you're driving it. And you know, somebody's going to get a project car. Obviously, we're going to tell them about all the issues with this thing. Don't want to surprise anybody like we got surprised. But that's it. There might be a couple of videos on this car, definitely of it, getting it, you know, running, driving, stopping. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have for right now. Like I said, once this car is done, even though I don't really have room for anything else, I would like to pick something else up, and you know, just as a quick flip, or you know, try something different, either a swap. I have a couple of engines around, so all right, guys, thank you for checking it out. Once I get my spine fused from pushing these cars up and down the driveway, we'll actually get down to doing some work.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or
well,
what portion?
Spinal.